The church had not held a proper service in over 20 years, yet every night at exactly midnight its bell rang once. No one admitted ringing it. St. Bartholomew's Chapel stood at the edge of Ashford town, swallowed by creeping vines and surrounded by twisted eucalyptus trees that seemed to lean closer each year. The windows were shattered, pews eaten by termites, and rainwater leaked through the sagging roof. Children dared each other to touch its doors. Adults crossed the street rather than walk beside it. But Daniel Harper walked toward it willingly, because the dead were calling him there. Daniel parked his car at the dirt road's end and stared at the silhouette of the abandoned church. The dashboard clock flickered, 11:43 p.m. He hadn't slept properly in weeks. Every night, the same dream, the same voice. "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned." Only the voice wasn't his. It belonged to a woman crying in the dark. Daniel rubbed his eyes. "It's stress," he whispered, "nothing more." He was a journalist, recently transferred to Ashford to escape city scandals and start fresh. Instead, he'd inherited the town's favorite ghost story, Midnight Confession. According to locals, if you entered St. Bartholomew's Chapel at midnight, you would hear someone confess their sins in the confession booth, even though the church had no priest and no one inside. A stupid myth. Except Daniel had started hearing the confession in his own apartment, at midnight, every night. He stepped out of the car, the night air damp and cold. Crickets chirped, then suddenly fell silent as he approached the chapel. The wooden doors hung crooked, groaning as he pushed them open. Dust floated through moonlight, spilling from broken windows. The place smelled of rot and forgotten prayers. Daniel checked his recorder. Red light on. If this was a prank, or hallucination, or someone sneaking into the ruins, he'd document it. 11:59. His footsteps echoed as he walked down the aisle. Rows of pews sagged under decay. At the far end stood the altar, cracked statue of a saint leaning sideways, face worn away. And to the right, the confession booth, miraculously intact. Daniel swallowed. The wooden structure stood in shadow, curtain hanging limp. It felt wrong, like something alive watching him. His heart thudded as he stepped closer. The recorder trembled in his hand. 11:59. He told himself he'd leave after midnight passed, prove nothing happened, end the nightmare. The wind outside died. Silence thickened. Then the bell rang. A single toll. Daniel nearly dropped the recorder, and from inside the confession booth, a woman's voice whispered, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned." His blood froze. Someone was inside. He stumbled backward, pulse roaring in his ears. The voice trembled with grief. "I didn't mean to kill him." Daniel's mouth dried. Kill him? He forced himself closer, heart hammering. "Who are you?" he asked. Silence. Then, slowly, the confession booth curtain moved. From the other side. Daniel's breath caught. A pale hand slid out, thin, dirt beneath broken nails. The hand clutched the screen between confessor and priest. Daniel staggered back, panic exploding through him. But instinct, journalist instinct, held him there. "This isn't funny," he said weakly. "Who's in there?" The hand withdrew, and the voice whispered, "You are." The church doors slammed shut. Daniel spun around, terror surging. The chapel plunged into darkness as clouds covered the moon. His recorder crackled. Then came his own voice through the speaker. I didn't mean to kill him. Daniel's stomach twisted. He never said that. The recorder replayed the confession, his voice sobbing, pleading, confessing. Memory surged like lightning. A rain-soaked road, headlights, a man stumbling into the street. Impact. Daniel gasped, gripping his head. No, that accident, 2 years ago, he'd convinced himself it wasn't his fault. The man had been drunk. The police ruled it accidental. He never stopped driving, never checked if the man survived. His breathing became ragged. The confession booth crickled. The curtain opened, and someone stepped out. A pale woman in a torn white dress, soaked as if freshly dragged from water. Her skin gray, lips blue, dark hair hanging over empty, blackened eyes. Daniel couldn't move. Her voice came again, but this time from her dead mouth. You left him. Daniel's knees buckled. I didn't know. You drove away. Her neck twisted at an unnatural angle. Daniel crawled backward across dusty tiles. Who are you? She smiled. A crack split across her face. My husband died on that road. The memory sharpened. A wedding ring on the man's hand as he lay on wet